Yo, what's up guys? It is Josh with the Preset Bros, and today I'm going to show you how to make a bass like SOMMA. Disclaimer, I don't think he uses Serum to make his basses, just FYI, but we will be. So, this is what it sounds like. Alright guys, so that is the sound we'll be working on today. It's that bass. So you can hear it in a few of his songs, for example, Body on Fire. It's just a really pleasing bass. When I first heard the drop, I think it's Body on Fire, and the drop hit and then the bass came in. It was a similar pattern, or something like that. I was just like, holy crap, I want to make that sound. So anyways, this was my attempt. I feel like I did a pretty good job. That being said, I am using Serum. I feel like these guys are using actual analog synths and stuff like that, but hey, we did the best we could. So anyways, let's get into the sound. Alrighty guys, so I actually have two sounds going on, which it's really not a big deal. I have a sub right here, and this is what that sounds like. Just like a normal sub. And then the second sound that we're going to be covering is the actual sound, and I just kind of wrote it on top. So super cool sound. You don't have to add your own sub. I just did that because I like to have a little more control in balancing that out. If you notice, I do have a low cut going on here, just cutting off the lows and a little bit of the highs. But that's pretty much it. You can just remove that, and this is what it sounds like without any EQing. So I'm sure you could boost it around 60-70 hertz, kind of get that low end kicking, but that's just kind of the way I wanted to do it, was separate into two. Anyways, let's go ahead and get in the sound. So this is the sound, super simple, follow along. Alright guys, so for oscillator A, I have the square saw WRD, -2 on the octave, and the wavetail position at 94. I do have the level at 70%, and that is pretty much it. Next, I have the Serum standard stock saw wave right here, -2 on the octave again, 3 voices of unison, and that's kind of giving it that respace kind of vibe. I did pull the detune back to 0.12, and that's all that's going on. Level at 79%. I do have a kick here just to kind of give it a little transient in the initial bass hit. I'm using the XF Kick Attack 2. I do have the one-shot check and then the MIDI check, and it's at -12, and the volume going all the way up to 100%, just helping out with that transient. I'm sending the noise to the filter, not the oscillators. And you'll notice that here A and B are not checked, the noise is, and that's just kind of cut off some of that top clickiness of a kick sound. And I have the cutoff at 140 hertz, res at 10%, drive at 14%, and that's it. Let's go ahead and move to shaping the sound. So for shaping the sound, I'm using envelope 1. Attack normal, hold normal. The decay pulled back a little bit to 381 milliseconds. -6.1 dB on the sustain, and a hefty release of 2.33 seconds. You might notice I am modulating some parameters, and that is actually in the effects section. So let's go ahead and jump over to that. Don't forget to check that mono button, and let's go. So first things first, I have the compression, a multi-band setting here, and that is it. Moving right along, we have a little bit of tube distortion, drive 100, mix 100. We're just cranking that bad boy up, getting it all kinds of dirty. Next, we have the EQ, and we just have a little bump here at 318 hertz, a gain boost of 5 dB, and you can see that right there. For the top part, we're cutting off some of the highs at 1700 hertz, and that's pretty much it, guys. Just simple EQing right there, just kind of further shaping the sound, highlighting frequencies we want, cutting away frequencies we don't, really basic stuff. To finish off the sound, we have an MG Low 24, and I've talked about this before. A lot of times when I add a multi-band compression or distortion or something, it kind of beefs it up, and so if you want to further kind of shape that sound and clean it up a little bit, add your filter after your distortion and multiband compression. We just went with an MG Low 24. The cutoff is at 46, and then I'm modulating that here with envelope 1, and I'm modulating it by 53. I have a pretty high res of 32% and a drive of 25, and the mix all the way up. The last thing I did, guys, and you might have already noticed, but I have this cheeky little macro over here in the corner, and it's modulating 2 parameters. I'm modulating the frequency right here going up, and then I'm modulating the cutoff going up, opening up the sound. And you'll kind of see that. Let's turn on the automation here. So the sound starts open, it tapers off, and then it opens up again, and then it tapers off. And so if I were to turn this off, let me just bypass this, and let's give it a listen. So not bad, but when you turn it back on, just kind of makes that sound punch through the mix a little more, and I just felt that that was pretty appropriate for this sound and kind of what I was going for. But hey, you guys do whatever you want to do for your song. Anyways, just really quick, just for you guys, if you do want to do a separate sub bass like me, I'm just going to go ahead and run through the sub bass just super quick in case you guys want to do that. So first things first, I am EQing it. I'm putting it in a sub pocket of 40 hertz and 120 hertz. So don't forget to do that, or it's not it's going to kind of bleed into the other bass. You might have a muddy low end. So let's jump into the patch really quick. Super simple. For oscillator A, I have basic shapes. I have it on the saw wave setting, which is position number 2. The level at 78%. I am sending A into this filter, an MG Low 24. I have the cutoff at 140. And that's pretty much it that's going on. I copied the same shape that I have on the other bass, so that way they kind of sounded like the same bass. You know, when you layer subs into things, you want them to sound glued together, and having the same shaping in the envelope section really helps that. So it's the same exact shape as the last sound. Next, for effects, I have a little bit of compression going on. My threshold is at -11.6, a hefty gain boost of 10.9 dB, and then I have an EQ right here boosting those frequencies at 80 hertz by 8 dB, so that's pretty big. And then I'm rolling off more of those lows, and then I have another filter right here, and it is at 65, and then I'm modulating that just like the same as the other bass by 36. So kind of the same parameters, 32 on the res, 29 on the drive. So I just really wanted to sound glued there. And then just for insurance purposes, I went ahead and threw on a EQ just to kind of throw it right in that sub pocket so I could rest assured it was not getting muddied up with this bass. And that's it, guys. Super simple, 2 layers, and I like to do it that way because I like to have more control of my low end, so I can turn it down, turn it up, kind of just really have a separate track. I find it a lot easier in the mixing phase. Alrighty guys, so that pretty much wraps up the video. I hope you learned something. I hope you got inspired. I hope you now feel equipped to make SOMMA style tracks, even if you don't have that $3,000 analog synth sitting in your closet or anything like that. So we do have a lot of other awesome presets on our website. So if you want to go check those out, there's a link in the description. If you guys want to know any other sounds in this video, maybe this drone pluck or anything like that, put a comment down below. I'd love to do a video on those. Any critiques, feedback, whatever, definitely throw that comment down there. We just love to see them all. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay creative.